All right, guys, we should be recording.
Yep, looks good.
Okay, there we go. All right, Penny, make sure everybody gets excited about tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
There we go. I like that. Excitement's good.
It's very good. It's going to be a cool session.
You guys, I'm at LAX and the whole country has TSA lines. And this is crazy. Look at this. Can you guys see me?
No,
Nope.
just your profile.
You can't see me. Look at this. You're not gonna believe this. How do I get out of here? Look at this. Look at this line situation. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at the line. Look at the line.
He's in LA.
That's the line.
Did they forget about your airport? What is going on?
Unbelievable.
It's
Why'd I
been
get here so
horrible
early?
everywhere.
I mean, I got
Like-
here so early. I gotta post that. That's ridiculous. All right.
It's
Let me
been all over the news, Peter.
that it's empty.
No,
But
that
I think, Peter, I think the restriction with the TSA is only certain airports.
I have no idea, but this is empty. Unbelievable.
that's great.
Be through there in 2 seconds. All right. Is Ivan here?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Let me get you fired up. I'll make a badge and put it in the oh no, Ivan, you can make your own badge. What do I need to make your stinking badge for?
For all the good that'll do. Badges haven't been working for
Right.
over a week.
Waiting.
Excuse me.
I don't know
Oh,
what's up. They work for me.
Works for some people.
They work for me too.
You focus
Dan,
now?
if they're not working for you,
Ready, please.
maybe you just
Sure.
got too many badges.
Yeah, you already have a badge for this crew cast, it says.
You any favorite items? No.
Mine worked.
thank you so much.
Dan's just got honorary badges for every.
Am I
group.
unmuted? Sorry,
I keep
guys.
getting,
I'm trying to get.
I keep getting already as well.
And
Alright,
Christy often does.
Yep.
All
Yes,
right, I'm
you are
going through
unmuted.
this thing. All right. You guys
You're
have a good one.
unmuted, Peter.
All right. Have a good one. I'll see you.
Yep.
All right, bye.
Drop a line to Joe for things of that nature. I don't know.
Joe
He
will,
knows.
Joe
Joe
will
knows.
probably now be able to get to it now that Peter's gone.
There you are.
Yeah, Joe knows, Ivan. It's been happening for like 2 weeks now. You
Yeah.
you click it, but then it says, "Yay, you already have this badge."
Okay. I'm going to go back and check. You know what? It says that for me as well, but I just didn't read it.
It worked
But-
for me.
Yeah. It says I already have a badge for this crewcast, but that's good then. If I already have, I think it's probably just he's just put up the wrong message.
No,
I
Because-
don't think so.
it's a cyclic process. He's got to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not
Okay.
here for the badge. We're here for you, Ivan.
Oh,
Exactly. I'm here for the badge.
You
Oh,
get a badge
sorry.
for
I
that.
mean, Ivan.
Christy, can't you give yourself badges now?
Yeah, I got revoked too. So, you know,
Ooh. Abuse of power went to
Christy
your head.
has
Huh?
unlimited power now. Unlimited power.
Power went to her head and got taken away.
She can make the weather if
Yeah.
she wants to.
I can write a really mean email from Christy at Headshot Crew. Okay. That's my power, guys.
Okay.
Or a warm welcome. Right, Jeffrey?
I was
So-
just getting excited
Totally.
about the weather thing because I had more snow today, and I just wanted to ask you to do something about it. But
Write to
Okay.
Joe. Write to
Yeah.
Joe.
or
See if
Part
he
of
can
his
sort that out.
purview.
If you can fix that, fix it here too. It's 91 degrees. We're supposed to be skiing right now. This is crazy.
What's 91 in proper numbers?
91 in proper is 30, 33.
33 degrees, and you're hoping to ski.
It's the end of March in Boulder, Colorado. There should be a lot of snow. All the ski mountains should be really nice and open, not closed.
They go by calendar, not by temperature.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I mean, water skiing? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good day to go to the skiing. creek. Après skiing, yeah.
I guess water slides would be more appropriate. But,
Ivan,
yeah.
can
Yeah.
you take a badge away from Sharon? She has a ladder in her background.
Well,
Debadge
look,
her.
I've got a ladder here as well, temporarily. It's just, not to be featured in any photographs. There you go. Thank you, Sharon.
What's the thing with the ladders?
Well, the pipe could be a ladder too, a little
I-
bit. Or
I expressed an opinion.
Strongly.
There's a sort of a genre of photography, studio portraits, where there's often a ladder in there for no reason whatsoever, other than that the photographer has a ladder and they've brought it in as a sort of prop in the picture.
Mhm.
And I just find it very lazy, cliched. Like, what's the ladder doing there? It's just not explained. And, as happens when you express a strong opinion in a group of friends that lands, I don't know, not unanimously, that's been turned into an iron law of portrait track that you're never allowed to mention ladders, look at ladders, own a ladder, and certainly not include it in any pictures.
But Ivan, you literally built the ladder in your background.
I know.
And also, we had a portrait probe that required the use of a ladder. So
Yeah. Look, I'm not above a bit of self-effacing humor. But yeah, it's the lazy ladder, the ladder that's there for no reason that I dislike. Just basically because it's a cliche. And I think, there are tropes in studio portrait photography that are well worth paying attention to and employing in the right situation. But I just find the ladder one, like, I don't know, I've never seen one where I've thought, oh, that ladder looks good there. I'm always just like, why is there a ladder? What's that for? So, there we are.
clearly, you've never done a portrait of a painter, house painter, not a picture
Well,
painter.
that would be explained, right? That would be motivated. There's a reason for a ladder if you're taking a picture of somebody who's, painting.
Using it.
Yeah. If you're using the ladder, then it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Ivan, I literally shot a branding shoot for a construction company on their construction site. And no joke, I literally, after the fact, they asked me to remove the ladder. So it's funny because it's one instance where you would want it, but no.
Yeah. Look, Henning's dropped a picture. There are going to be
Irving Penn,
exceptions
ladies and
to this rule.
gentlemen. Irving
Yes.
Penn, yeah. So please.
So I don't think this qualifies as a picture that breaks the rule, because we're talking about cliches. The cliches of studio photography basically were started by Irving Penn. So, if you were the first one to do it, then it's not a cliche, right? It's everybody else who just followed you. And in this particular instance, this is a picture of somebody who employs a ladder as part of their trade as a window cleaner, by the looks
Window
of it.
washer. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
again,
I just because you said you have never seen a studio picture with a ladder that wouldn't bother you. So
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that thing of I think the comment is more aimed at people who are early in their career as studio photographers and they get a ladder because they've seen a ladder in other pictures, and they think, oh, if I get a ladder, then I look like I'm a legit photographer because I've got a studio ladder and it's in my pictures. And I'm just trying to urge you to go beyond those cliches. There you are. Yes. There you go. Carl's owning it. It's like, that's why I got one. There you go. I mean, ultimately, don't take anything I say to be a rule. But yeah, like I built a ladder because I need to get up to a high shelf. I can't jump that high, and it's probably not safe to do so. So I'm not arguing against the existence of ladders. They have a function, but as an ill thought out prop. This is a good point, Scott. Like the wooden ladders are the ones that people go for because they look nicer, right? The aluminium ones are not particularly photogenic, or they don't fit in that. They don't fit stylistically.
That screams for a portrait probe.
Mm-hmm.
The wooden ladders feel like the old cameras as props at Urban Outfitters, the retailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that there? It's kitschy.
Yeah. I mean, in a wider context, it is a bit sort of like, remember when Irish pubs became a thing and pubs would just go and buy a whole load of junk and stick it on the shelves in the pub. It's like, yeah, it's sort of supposed to make it feel homely, but then you look at the actual crap that they put on the shelves, like where did they get that from and why? What were
decoration?
Yeah.
The worst thing about the Irish pubs, Ivan, was that in Germany, everybody who could play 3 chords on a guitar started to sing Irish-inspired songs with a German accent, and that is not good.
I remember once commenting. It was when I lived in Italy that national stereotypes have a grain of truth in them, but over time they evolve. Because if you go far back enough in time, the Germans were really good at music and the Italians were really good at building roads. But it was a long time ago.
No, I think the Germans are still pretty good at music, just not at Irish dialect music. They do still some pretty good electronic stuff. They're pretty
much better at sea shanties.
This is true. Okay, so folks, we need to decide what we're going to do for the probe for the month of April. We've got a week left. Well, 6 days left for you to get your entries in for the contests for this month, because of the way the calendar works this month. But yeah, next week we will be judging, and next week I believe is actually the 1st of April, is the Wednesday, right? Yes, so we will be wanting to launch straight away, because the 1st of the month is April. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 4 clean weeks, 4 whole weeks to shoot your entry for Portrait Probe, which means, I don't know, we could come up with some theme that requires a little more planning and development, considering, there'll be no excuse for not having had time. I seem to remember that last week something came up as an idea, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
Yeah, you had the idea to do something with either stage building or prop building.
There you go. Excellent. Thank you, Henning. Which could fit in nicely then, because if we've got 4 weeks. How does that land as a suggestion? I want to do something obviously that gets people stretched and into a little bit of challenge and difficulty, but at the same time not so difficult sounding that people don't attempt it and we end up not getting many entries. So the idea was
I'm already
separately.
thinking about what material I could build a ladder.
Oh my God, I was thinking the same thing, Henning.
Just don't use aluminum or aluminium.
Yeah. Spaghetti. I recommend spaghetti, Henning. There you go.
Legos.
Hey, what if we did something that was branding oriented using some sort of props or sets so
Okay.
that it might be a functional tool for somebody to learn to use, think out of the box for their headshot sessions to get add-ons.
I see. So those situations where you get a headshot client that has a prop that's some product that they're selling, and you need to incorporate that into a setup.
Yeah, I mean, it could be as simple as a laptop, a book,
Yeah.
just as
A
a
prop shop.
concept.
Yeah, a prop shop. That could work. I mean, it's that's definitely outside of what we normally do on headshot track, so it fits the bill in that sense. It's something that's likely to come up as a requirement for a paying client, so it's functional, it's useful.
And it can be
Um,
done, in a small confined space too. It can be done as a table portrait, a half
Mhm.
body. I
Yeah,
think it's a good exercise in lighting and composition.
Can we drill down a little bit more into branding? Because I mean, I'm a reluctant user of that term because I just see it as commercial photography. So can we like get a little more specific so it has some direction?
well, I would
Let's
call it a prop shop.
Prop shop. Okay.
Yeah, so somebody has, you have to take a picture of a person with a prop that in this instance would be a product that they are promoting, selling. They've written a
So
book.
would it like basically indicate what they may do for a living or what business they're in?
I mean, potentially, not necessarily. Like if somebody's written a book about being a brain surgeon, I would suggest that the easier option is to use the book as the prop rather than an open skull. But you're ambitious.
That's
Yep,
fine.
go for
Could be abnormal.
it. I mean, you're going to have to manage the specular reflections on all the gooey brain juice, but that could make for a good technical exercise.
You can tone them down in Evoto, so
Remove brain reflections. Yes.
I mean, there's inherently some kind of narrative there when you introduce a prop, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The prop needs to be motivated. And if we imagine the scenario that it's a product for sale, I think that puts it squarely in the category of this is likely to come up in your headshot career. I mean, everyone here who's shot headshots for any length of time, I'm sure, will have been in this scenario where somebody says, "Hey, can we include this thing?" I mean, it could be a simple, somebody wants a picture with a cape they've made. How do you do that in an interesting way? How do you not just make it a very straightforward, functional, but essentially dull picture? So it could be about finding an interesting angle. It could be about using the prop in a unexpected way. There's the whole thing about, are you going to foreground the prop or foreground the person? What's the story you're telling? Is this person the creator of this thing? There's all kinds of aspects to it that could influence how you approach it. I mean, in your case, Scott, clothing that's
right.
worn by the person that designed it, right? That's you do that every week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm just thinking of this like I'm having like this loose tie with the environmental portrait, although not as kind of difficult, but there has to be a reason for the environment, just like there has to be a reason for the prop.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say this has to be an environmental portrait, because that then puts us outside of the studio, which is a different approach. You totally could do that. I'm not saying that's not allowed, but to make it accessible keeping it, if you wish, within the confines of your normal shooting space. And I'm just thinking, I did a shoot some months ago with a woman who designs handbags, and she just brought like a lot of the kind of preliminary sketches for the handbags, and we just pinned them to a cork board that I used as the backdrop for her headshot. So they were sort of there in the background, and you might not immediately notice them, but on second look at the picture, you're like, oh, right, there's technical drawings of handbags. She's probably a handbag designer.
Yeah.
It could be that kind of approach rather than now available, buy two, get one free, kind of,
Well, let me ask you this, because I had a client in January, and he was a mathematician, and he took copious notes because there's computer screens so limited. So he had notebooks and notebooks full of formula and drawings, and we placed two of those out in front of him for a table shot. And that was it. Otherwise, he was just in his home at the living room table, at the kitchen table.
That exactly fits into how I'm imagining it. So it's a studio portrait, and it's a prop shot. So there's a prop that tells us something about the person. It's not an environmental portrait, although the intention is that there's a lot of overlap in the intention of those things. But yeah, it's in the studio. Before we go on, Dan, do you know the one about the constipated mathematician?
I don't think so.
He had to work it out with a pencil.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Oh no.
I'm really sorry to tell you guys Ivan won't be with us next week, but
my contract has been terminated with immediate.
Oh my God.
Ivan, I've been listening to Ricky Gervais's podcast, so that just felt right.
And just to toss another idea, if you had a bookkeeper in your studio, she might be holding her glasses. She might have a telephone on the desk. There might be a laptop in front of her, something that tells the story, a yellow pad and paper,
A green transparent visor.
Yeah.
That's a bookie.
Well, I think it's both, but.
or the hat with the net. Oh, that's a beekeeper. Sorry. And think back a couple of months back, Noel did a portrait. Was it a contest or was it in his portfolio? I can't remember. But he had a picture of an interior designer, I think it was. And he got a whole load of like chairs and tables and assembled them in a pile and had her kind of sitting on the top of the pile of.
It was a contest.
It was a contest. Yeah.
So it was taking that idea and running with it. So it's definitely not environmental portrait, but it's definitely a prop shot that tells you something about the person. In this case, definitely what she does for a living, though it could be a hobby or some other aspect of the person's character. So that I'm thinking of that example because that's obviously a bigger scale, more kind of ambitious production. It doesn't just have to be limited to having the person holding an item in a straightforward portrait. You could build a bigger set and have them in it, if that works as well. It sounds like that idea has legs. I mean, Henning, your environmental portrait series on cheesemakers, you could potentially bring one of those people into the studio with some of the
cheese.
Yeah, with some cheese. Yeah.
Blessed are the cheesemakers.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea that is now kind of emerging goes a little bit back to this, I think, Penshot here, who brought all these tradespeople into the studio, and he had like the window washer that we have here and the fishmonger and all sorts of other people. He did that in the 50s, and I mean, it goes a bit into that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because
mean that is it, isn't it? It is the Irving Penn series. That's essentially what we're talking about. Although I
yeah,
wouldn't say stylistically you're limited to that, just
no,
conceptually.
but conceptually, the idea to bring a little bit of the environment into the studio to kind of do this type of hybrid shot between an environmental and a studio shot, right?
Yeah. And this is the shot that I was thinking of from Noel's portfolio or contest, as it was. So yeah, you could go that way with it. What do we reckon then? Gauging the reaction so far, I would say that sounds like a good one to go with.
Probably the best for the group, although I want to build something. So but
Yeah, sounds good to me.
next month.
Okay. All right. Well, then that sounds like that is done. I'm going to make a note now so that I then don't forget it before loading it up.
And I'd be very curious, if you're bringing a real person in that does these things, are you then able to sell them an image based on this concept?
Yes.
Oh, you can't bring mannequins in.
Well, you could bring one with Dan's credit card.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Dan, with your visor comment, now I want to encourage you to find 4 dogs and recreate a certain picture.
With the 4 dogs, recreate the Beatles Abbey Road shot on the zebras crossing road.
I would do it with AI, but Ivan would kill me.
Absolutely. No, I would just dispatch some robots to kill you. I wouldn't do it myself.
Okay. I sent Ivan some AI reel one time, and with the Beatles transitioning from one album to another, from the first "Please Please Me" to what was the last one, "Let It Be," and it did not go over well. He does not embrace AI the way James does.
I mean,
I'm not sure, but it's, if you make fun about the Beatles with a British person, you're on very thin ice. So
It was not making fun. It was a tribute. I consider myself second to none in my admiration for the Beatles.
I think, yeah, but my point was that, like, why do we need to invent AI Beatles? Like, we've got access to the real thing. It's like there's so much content out there that's real. Like, yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Ivan just stopped. He just started digital photography, right? So you're always behind everybody. How long did you hang on to film? I'd be interested.
Well, I don't think that's a great comparison. I mean,
it's not a good comparison. You're right. It's not a good comparison, but it's fine.
Maybe this is where we segue into the next bit of discussion. But I think, I've found myself using generative AI to make stupid memes to send privately to friends based on a dumb comment they've made in a WhatsApp conversation or something. But yeah, creating something that purports to be art, essentially. Yeah, I don't buy it. It doesn't qualify for me.
Yeah, I agree, because I think a lot of people think that their prompt is the art. Like, come on.
Yeah, well,
I agree with you on
that. I've found recently that I've been on my Instagram. The algorithm is feeding me more and more stuff that apparently I'm spending more time watching. which is not just people playing live music, and actually quite a lot of Beatles content, people playing live some music, but also explaining why the music is great. And that kind of it's the human bit of it. Yeah, you can generate the music with AI. You don't need a human to make a song that's capable of topping the charts. We know that, but yeah, isn't it more interesting when it's written by a person and then you hear the story of how they wrote it, why they wrote it, what it means, or what people think it might mean, and all of that kind of stuff. Seems to me that's got much more value. Yeah, that's not to say that humans haven't created a load of completely worthless music over the years as well. Cotton Eye Joe. I mean, come on.
Ivan, can I make a suggestion for Portrait Probe for May? A future one. I don't want to interfere with this one, but since you got your notepad out and you're saving these, photograph.
Can I just caveat that and say that the notepad that I have out now may not be around in May, so it's not a guarantee. I will write it down, but if I can find it again in May is another matter. But okay.
And you may not like the idea, but I think it might appeal to you, and that's the Portrait Probe would have a visual pun in it.
Ooh, you're speaking my language, Dan. I like it. Let's just workshop that idea a little bit. So, can you give us an example firstly, so that people can latch on to the idea? Is there a particular image that you're thinking of, something you've seen?
Not that comes to mind, just the idea that we're talking about puns and things earlier. Well, we talk about them often.
Yeah.
And so it just, no, I don't have one, but it just hit me that it could be fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. A woman standing between a rock and a hard place.
For example. Yeah. Between the devil and the deep blue sea. Could be.
Yeah.
Rose between two thorns.
Holding a chicken and an egg.
But yeah, who was it who said that the other week? I went on Amazon and I ordered a chicken, and separately I ordered an egg.
I'll get back to you on it.
Yes, I like this idea, a visual pun. It doesn't necessarily have to be funny, but yeah, something where people get the significance beyond the immediate visual, so it adds an extra layer to the image. I like that. That seems like something that people could get their creative teeth into. Yeah. And who doesn't love a pun? I mean, always good. I'm tempted to just list out a whole load of puns now, but yeah, stop me. Okay, I like that. Remind me at the end of April.
Oh, no, I've got to remember.
Okay. So Sylvia's posted a picture of a cactus balloon.
You started me going. I don't know what to tell you now. All I'm going to think about is the visual puns, and that's a good one, Dan. Good one, Dan.
You have to have a person in it. This is portrait.
Yes,
I know. I was just really sharing the enthusiasm. I totally get it.
Well, having said that, first of all, obviously, when you're not a native speaker, then this is going to get difficult. But since you said it has to have a person, I think Ivan challenged us a month ago, and he always said that whoever comes up with a viable portrait of a banana, he would accept the image. So,
yeah,
I just want to remind us.
Yes, absolutely. If you can defend it as a portrait, then it is a portrait. There's no we've not ever agreed on a fully watertight definition of what a portrait is. We just all operate on a sort of shared understanding. If you
Exactly.
make it your mission to challenge that shared understanding, I'm more than up for that. I think that would be
I just wanted to come in defense of Sylvia's idea and not have it knocked down in half a second without a
Oh,
discussion,
thank you,
guys.
Henny.
You're welcome anytime.
If I appeared to knock it down, I apologize. I did not. That was not my intent. It was just how do I work a person into this or a dog?
you didn't want to burst her bubble, is what you're saying.
Exactly. It would be a prickly situation.
Oh, stop.
Here we go.
That's too much. That's too funny.
Hey, Ivan, can we AI Dan into the picture now?
I think what we need to do is AI Dan into the 1964 Beatles, and yeah, have him. If Dan were in the Beatles, which one would he be?
I'm seeing him as that meme going the other way, looking over his shoulder back at them.
For me, it's clearly Ringo Starr, no question.
That is Ringo. Yeah, yeah, I see that. He's got Ringo energy.
He's got rhythm.
Just what I was thinking too.
Yeah, there you
Would
go.
that I did.
Unanimous, Dan. Unanimous.
Yeah, I wish I did have rhythm.
Well, either way, you're a star. Oh.
Problem is, I just wash my feet and I can't do a thing with them.
That's punny, Ivan.
Excellent. Okay, so this must be record breaking. Not only have we decided on the theme for Portrait Probe for April before we get to April, we've also decided on the theme for May before we get to April. So I don't know. I feel like I know I could take a week off or something, maybe. Maybe I can attack my other to-do list with such efficiency tomorrow and have the floors waxed and all of that stuff. Let's see how it goes.
Or find a reason to come back to California. Baseball season starts today.
Well, I mean, apparently, yeah, like it's a good time to travel to the States because there's no queues at the airport, apparently. So,
according to Peter.
Yeah, if you travel with Peter. No, I haven't got anything planned just yet, other than well, December I'll be in LA, which is a bloody long way off. So who knows what happens between
I'll be
now.
I'll be in here by then. What are you doing in December?
So a project that I shot last year and then we repeated this year, and we've got the go ahead to do it again this year. So yeah, but it happens in December. So and I haven't collected.
If you need a portable light stand, I'll be an hour and a half away from there.
Well, thank you, but Rich Soublé is the go-to guy. He's assisted me on it for the last 2 years.
You can bring the ladder though, Sanjeev.
Cool. Well, hopefully I'll get to see y'all for at least dinner or something.
Absolutely. Yes, let's do that. And you saw, I assume, that last year in December, we went for dinner and Rich introduced me to apple pie with American cheese, and it set.
No, but that sounds not good. Who does that?
Lots of people.
It was.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you.
Cheddar cheese.
Cheddar cheese.
No, ice cream. You put vanilla ice cream on it, if anything.
Yeah.
Vanilla ice cream is just cold
or
cheese.
peach ice cream.
I mean, American vanilla ice cream and American cheese, it's all the same ingredients, right?
Well, you can go with French vanilla or vanilla bean.
You look for the genuine DuPont certification on both of those.
Yeah. No
GM chemistry
left out of this recipe. Yeah. AI American cheese is like AI cheese, essentially, isn't it? It's basically. At first glance, it has all the characteristics of, but it's not quite the real thing. Cheese and pie is New England, apparently. Okay. I was told it was more of a Midwest thing, but I think there are like lots of areas that claim it. But then, yeah, it was the big city cosmopolitan folks who were sort of going, oh gosh, no. Which there you are. But there you go.
I'm definitely Midwest, and I don't think I've even heard
That's
of it
almost as
before.
bad as room temperature beer.
Come on.
Drinking the wrong beer.
Depends what temperature your room is. I've lost my thread now. I was about to go into something else. My memory's terrible, isn't it?
It's the second thing to go, Ivan. I can't remember what the first one is.
Well, my wife tells me that I only have two faults. First one is that I don't listen, and I can't remember what the other one is.
Here we go. Here we go. Stand-up comedy. Comedians doing stand-up comedy. Comedians in cars getting coffee with photographers or something. I don't know. We could get a podcast out of this, surely. No, we were talking about, so I mentioned travel. I don't know.
You're talking about what you could do in your studio because we're 2 months ahead on decisions.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. I'm back on track. So what I was going to ask is one of the things that's on my never achievable to-do list. Saturday was the beginning of spring officially, the 21st of March, and also the what is it, the spring equinox, solstice equinox. So our minds turn to renewal and rebirth and all of those springy things. And a big tradition is, of course, the spring clean. So I was going to ask who has it on their plan sometime in the next few weeks to do the big spring clean in the studio, and what light modifiers or old outdated bits of technology do you think you might find in one of the 14 camera bags that are stuffed down the back of a radiator that haven't been opened for a year or two? Scott's already found something.
I'll give two away if you come by the house. Anyone who comes by to pick them up, you can have them. The eyelighter and the highlighter.
Okay, the eyelighter and the highlighter. What's the highlighter?
It's the Manfrotto big white wall thing with the
stand-up background that you shove a strobe in and gives you a white wall. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I've sort of come to the conclusion that building these shelves and sort of finding space for everything on there. There's a few bits and pieces that haven't been used for ages, and I haven't managed to sell them. Not that I've particularly tried, and I think I might just post a notice in a local photographers group and say, if you can get here before 4 p.m. this afternoon, you can have them. Please take them off my hands. Does that feel familiar to anyone? Bits and pieces, gear overload, stuff that's
bits and bobs.
What in particular do you think you've got that's no longer?
I just moved out of my studio and there's a whole corner of stuff that I didn't need. So we could just ask Emily what's in there.
And you're just getting rid of it?
I don't know. That's the stuff I'm driving to Cal. I don't have it. So I'm trying to remember what was in there. There's a projector. At one point I thought I was going to project a backdrop or something like that. That didn't work. And a lot of modifiers, right? A lot of light stands. We all have too many light stands, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, there are some things like light stands that are no longer up to your requirements in terms of how heavy duty they are. Like
the first ones I bought.
Yeah. They just don't do the job anymore.
I have a ton of those. What do you put a flash in to make it a Bowens mount? The little adapter ring.
Yeah, the
Speed rings.
Whatever, what do they
S10
call
or
it?
something. Yeah.
S adapter or
Well,
something.
they're
Yeah.
S brackets.
Yeah. S
Yeah.
bracket. I've got a lifetime supply of those if anybody.
Phone's going, Sanjeev. Yeah, thinking about it, I've got a couple of tripods as well that I've just got better tripods now, and the old ones still work. Like they're not broken, but I'm never going to use them again. Like how many tripods can you use at one time? So I think they're going to have to go.
So I think the other question is, and that is almost the more interesting question, for us people who like to actually acquire things, is, which part of your studio equipment have you not upgraded yet? And I have a suggestion to make, because I just recently upgraded all the power cords to my lights, because I was really fed up with kind of these stiff PVC things, that you can never kind of tidy up properly. And you can get these very nice ones that have this more, I don't know, genuine kind of caoutchouc thing. They are soft and you can shape them and you can put them in or away. So so I have a stack of the old stuff that's gonna go. I'll move my studio in May, and I'm gonna get rid of old power cords. But in case you need ideas how to acquire new things that you haven't replaced yet, it makes a huge difference. I cannot even start to tell you, what a pleasure it is to move the the light stands on wheels, that you can move them through the studio with a power cord that actually smoothly follows the light stand over the floor. It is night and day.
Next step is batteries. Go all batteries.
Yeah. Fully appreciate that. But that brings to mind a quick question then. So thinking about all of the gear that you've got, what's the longest serving piece of equipment in your studio? And by that I mean something that you still use regularly. It's still like maybe not your everyday, but like it's your go-to thing. What's the longest serving piece of equipment that's in your studio? I mean, for me, I guess it's
Oh,
my flex.
that's an easy one, Ivan. It's
Tell me.
me.
Oh,
I
I'm
have
not
to say
sure
the
for a piece of
backdrops. The
equipment.
backdrops don't get replaced. The white backdrop, still white.
The white backdrop. So what are you using as a white backdrop?
I use a 4x5 stretched canvas that hangs on the wall.
And that you've had that for how many years, Sanjeev?
7 years on.
7 years.
Since,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take your 7, raise you a 7-foot umbrella. I've had it forever.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say my Einstein lights. I've got a bunch of them, and I kind of acquired them one at a time, but I really love them. But I have to say it's probably a shoot-through umbrella. Some shoot-through umbrellas that I have might be my longest thing. Before I did the triangle, I was using 2 umbrellas and shooting between them and lighting my guys, and that's been a long-lasting piece of equipment. And I still pull them out now and then.
Umbrellas managed to pull off that trick of being incredibly useful. I'm going to say durable unless they get slightly upset, then they fall apart in 3 seconds. But if nothing bad happens to them, they can last you for years, and they're really cheap, right? They're sort of the cheapest thing that we have to buy as studio photographers, right? The umbrellas.
Ivan, we may be into June now. Look in the chat for Leo's comment. It's near the bottom. Second from the bottom.
So maybe Leo, maybe you could do that for April. So for the April probe, it's a prop shot. So it's a studio portrait of somebody with an item or items that tell you something about them, what they do for a living, or whatever, a product that they're selling, something that they promote. in the case of a photographer, it could be a self-portrait of a photographer surrounded by mountains of slightly different size batteries that all require a different charger. Things of that nature. Thank God for USB-C. Oh, everything on USB-C forever. They should never change that standard.
Except for one thing. They came out with this universal fits everything everywhere, but there are different speed ratings and power, whether it's PD or not, and there should have been something on the rubber or metal part around the actual USB-C thing that labeled it as to what its suitable use is. Can it charge a MacBook? Is it fast, high speed for data transfer? There are a lot of USB-C 3.1. There should, like, when they first came out with the high speed USB, would have been A. They had like a blue interior thing that held the contacts on the inside of the plug, and it would be nice if USB-C had some standard for what the different USB-Cs were.
I'm gonna admit ignorance here, because I'm aware that there are different standards, but I've never run into an issue where I've plugged in a cord and it hasn't done the thing that I've wanted it to do. I mean, to be fair, like if I'm using for a tether cable, I use a tether cable, and to power my phone or my camera batteries, I will just use any old cable that I've got, and they all seem to work. Maybe they're not charging as fast as they possibly could, but
well, just for that example, there are some that are two-way or do data as well as power, and if you use one that has power, it may not send the data properly. And we've had instances where Capture One has not gotten the image because it was a cable that did both or went both ways.
Yeah, no, for tethering, I always use a proper dedicated tether cable. Also, because I need something that's 4 meters long, which your average. I don't need a 4 meter long cable to charge my phone. Thankfully, that would not be good. But anyway, in answering that, I think, Ellie, I've recapped for you as well, so you're clear on what the thing is for April, right? Ellie?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. But don't forget, you've got to shoot March first.
Yes, I'm working on that.
Don't get distracted. Don't let me throw you off the.
What is March's? I haven't been on in a minute. What's for March?
So
March is fun.
So for March, let me read you the exact thing that we put in there. The March portrait probe is iconic poses. So we went through. Oh, that's interesting. I thought I wrote a thing here and it hasn't come up. It is interesting. So the idea is getting people to go beyond your standard poses. So getting you comfortable asking people to do things that are a bit more out there, and in order to give you some inspiration on that. An iconic pose we decided is one of those pictures where you would know the picture even if you only saw it as a silhouette. So the strongest examples that we came up with were like the Charlie's Angels poster, for example. We saw some great pictures of various people from the world of sport and entertainment. Think Marilyn Monroe, think Muhammad Ali, things of that nature. So you're getting people to be more expansive, more expressive with their poses on camera. There you are.
Ivan,
Yes.
I'm curious. I just did the shoot this morning and I'm super stoked. I've been editing. I've finally got to like look at the images because I had a meeting right back to back after the shoot. But what are we sharing with the images? Obviously, like we enter the image into the Portrait Probe contest, but then is there some sort of like a post that we need to do?
Yes.
How does that work?
I will show you. I'm going to use Scott
Cool.
as an example because Scott does this exactly as we would like.
And if you miss this, it's also written up in the portrait track.
Oh, okay. And is the Portrait of the Month a different thing than the Portrait Probe?
Yes. So you have Portrait of the Month, just any portrait, not any portrait, your best portrait that you've shot in that month. Portrait Probe, there's a theme or a condition or some kind of restriction on it. Both of them have to be shot in the month of the contest. And ideally, we would like to see, 2 pictures from you a month. That's not a big ask, I think. I think you can manage that, Jeffrey. But let's have a quick look here. So Scott's got his picture here is entered into the contest submission. And when we click on the picture in the comments, it's not obligatory. He's given us a little blurb in the comment. The main thing is he's put a link to a post that he's made in the portrait track. So if we just went into the portrait track here, you will see there it is. And in that, he's given us all of the, sorry, I've clicked on the wrong thing there. Excuse me. He's given us the edited image, the straight out of camera image, a little diagram of how the lighting setup was done. And ideally there would be some information there, like what camera, what lens, what lighting equipment. Idea being if somebody wants to recreate it, they should have the information that they need. Or if somebody wants to give you critique, they know, oh, okay, like if you'd used I don't know, a smaller modifier, maybe it would make this bit a bit more punchy or whatever. So they can see what you're working with. That's the idea.
Okay, I get stuck at, this is Colleen, I get stuck at trying to get that link to go to my submission. How do I do that?
Okay, so you make a post. Let's say I've made this post up here in the browser bar. You just select it.
Oh, you're not sharing your screen right now.
You're not showing your screen.
Well, that would be too easy.
Well, that's why I have a problem.
You have to imagine what's on his screen.
I can see my screen. So if I've made this post, I make the post and then I go up here and I just Control C or Command C. And then on my contest entry, if I have made one, which obviously I haven't, but when I make my contest entry, where I would write my stuff, I would also just Control V or Command V, that little URL.
Okay.
Into there. And it will appear just as a clickable link. You won't see the content in a preview, but that's absolutely fine. We know what that means.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. There you go. Okay. Well, I think we will end it there for this week, but just to quickly recap then. So you've got 6 days left to get your entries in for Portrait Probe, Iconic Poses, and Portrait of the Month. And you've got then coming in April a prop shot. So a portrait of a person in the studio, but they are holding, sitting on, interacting in some way, or maybe not even interacting. You could just have it as part of the set with some item that tells us something about the person, perhaps what they do for a living. Perhaps it's an item that they sell, they're promoting, a book that they've written, etc., etc. It's not an environmental portrait because it's in the studio, so you're free to compose the shot any way you like. So you might get creative with the composition. But yeah, I think it's a real world scenario that definitely comes up. So think about creating an image that your client could potentially use to promote themselves or their product. That's a good way to think about it. And then if you're feeling creative, you can start noting down ideas for May, which is going to be visual puns. If you're stuck on that one, just text Dan and he will send you back an endless stream of puns until you tell him to shut up.
I like your guy in London that gives puns away.
Darren Walsh. Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Question.
Yeah.
What if you can't put the same image in for both contests, right?
Why would you do that, Dan?
Well, because I'm not sure if it's an iconic enough to be an icon, but it would certainly do as a portrait of the month entry.
So I'm not against you submitting two different images from the same shoot, one for
Right.
probe, one for portrait of the month. I would encourage you to submit different things, just because, like, it's 2 pictures a month. It's not a big stretch. But yeah, if you've got 2 great images from one shoot, put one in one and one in the other.
Okay.
That's absolutely fine. I don't think we have a rule saying you can't put the same picture in twice, but yeah, pick where it most naturally fits, and put it there, I would say.
Okay.
And also, we don't judge the winner of the probe based on which one best fits the brief. We still just judge it on how good it is as a picture, right? So even if it doesn't fit the brief as well as some of the other pictures that it's up against, if it's a strong image, it's still a strong image. There's nothing.
All right. Well, then I'll take my chance and put it in the probe, because I've never entered the probe, or I've yet to enter the probe.
Okay. And you've got a 50% win success rate on the portrait of the month, right?
I think it's 30. I've dropped to 33.
So
I should have quit when I was ahead.
Fancy. He's playing the stats. That's what he's doing. He's playing the stats.
I'm batting 333.
It's not bad.
That gets me into the Hall of Fame in baseball.
Teams. Yeah.
Dan, was it because there was no probe intended, or?
Hey. Excellent.
So I put the link to what Ivan described on how to do it. I put that link in the chat if anybody needs it. And Henning, aren't you doing something tomorrow?
I'm going to do something tomorrow. Yeah. And
you don't need a complete list, but just the thing that's of note and of interest to us.
Okay. I was I'm tomorrow. If you have time and interest, come in 9 o'clock in the evening, my time. What time is that? Your time?
8 a.m. 8 p.m. for me, or 4
p.m.
US
Eastern.
time, and US time. It is the
4 o'clock.
There's 4 different ones, Henning.
The potluck
It's 2 o'clock
Thursday
here.
hour. Anyway, it's the potluck Thursday hour. So if you come to the potluck Thursday hour, we're gonna talk monochrome photography on 16-bit monochrome, and we're gonna talk about monochrome signatures.
Monochrome
and the
signature.
commercial viability of black and white photography.
Oh, okay.
And this is chapter 3, correct?
4.
4.
Yeah,
Oh, I
3.
missed one. Okay. Chapter 4.
Okay.
So come by.
Sounds
We're
good.
gonna look
Yeah. So that's
amongst.
to simplify that. That's at the same time as every crewcast ever. Just so you know. You don't have to remember specifically what time it is in various
Well,
European zones.
that's why I said it's the potluck Thursday hour, but at the moment I'm confused because of the
Daylight saving.
because of the daylight saving time that is not yet in place in Europe here.
Yeah, it's nowhere in the world apart from the US and Canada have they changed.
There you go. There you go.
I believe. Does Mexico change, or do they not need to because they're tropical enough? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway,
These are all recorded, right, Henning? Question from Ellie, but it's a standard thing that gets recorded.
They are recorded, and I think we're gonna put out some videos on that as well at some point in the near future. But it's gonna be recorded, so you can have a look. But it's good to come in live because we're gonna have a discussion about it, and normally from what gets discussed, I take something in for the next time around. So that's always interesting for me.
always much better when it's interactive. If you can make it live, do join. Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. Good stuff.
Henning, do you know how many there will be, or is it just going to be an ongoing series?
It's an ongoing series until, yeah. So I'm not thinking in. I don't have a number in my mind.
Okay,
but,
just curious.
I think I'm certainly gonna do it this year, but then let's see.
As long as there's demand.
As long as there's demand, and as long as there's interesting aspects of that to discuss, which I think we're not going to run out this in any time soon. So
yeah. So somehow I think 1 hour is not going to exhaust the subject of black and white photography.
Yeah, exactly. I have a similar hunch.
You should be fine for a while, I will say.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks. Well, yeah, join Henning tomorrow for that, and I will see you back here this time next week for judging of the contests. Have a good one.
That's not an April Fool's joke, right?
Oh Christ, it's going to be April Fool's Day, isn't it? Yeah. Oh
my
gosh.
God, Dan.
And Dan's going to be unstoppable. Okay.
Or Poisson d'Avril.
Yes.
Do you have a breakout room you could put him in?
Zoom jail. Is there a Zoom naughty step is essentially what you're asking, Kirsty. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe we should write to Joe and see if he can add one for us. Anyway,
Thanks, Joe.